If you've ever played any of the Warcraft games, you probably have a few images that come to mind when you first think of the game. Particular raids that you may find interesting, some of the things that you either had problems with or spent a lot of time in. There are a few things that come to mind more vividly than the glory days of the Burning Crusade. The raids that came out during the Burning Crusade were iconic. Each one of them was honestly just so well done. The design, the characters, the lore, just everything about it was amazing. It was a challenge, the mechanics were interesting. There was no dull or easy thing that you could do to get through the Burning Crusade. It was a grind, and it was fun, and it rewarded you with achievements, really cool, interesting mounts, just amazing gear. Whether it be the easier or intro raids like Nectheridan Slayer, Karazhan, that's still probably one of my favorite raids of all time. Black Temple, Mount Hyjal, Tempest Keep, or Serpentine Cavern, or the Sunwell even. They're all just so entrenched in the lore, it's hard to think about one of them and not have your mind start racing back down the tracks of, oh, back in Warcraft 3, this happened, and this guy teamed up with this. At least that's where my mind goes. Admittedly, I'm fairly biased when it comes to the Burning Crusade expansion. It was the first expansion that came out after retail WoW started. It's when I started playing, like, actually playing the game to raid, not just a casual, like, little, oh, this is a fun game kind of thing. I started to actually, like, play the game like an MMO, like, dumping hours of, multiple hours every day into this game. It kind of pains me to think about how much time I spent in this game, but then again, if you're having fun, it's not really an issue. The Tempest Keep raid is probably my favorite raid that came out. Besides Karazhan, which was just fun for its 10-man, you can go knock it out, you can bring a super geared guy, you can bring your new guys. It was just really cool in general. The Tempest Keep was just a fun raid, and every fight was so pretty, and giant phoenix flying through the air. How cool is that? A giant Doomwalker guy, the classic caster boss that's, huge AoE damage, shadow form adds. It's just chaos, And then the last boss, Kael'thas, who's just an all-around, he's just badass. He's like the iconic mage of all time. As you can probably tell, it's one of my favorite raids. So I've always wanted to go back and do it in other expansions. So I play on a Wrath of the Lich King private server called Warmane in the Icecrown realm, where you can multibox still. In retail WoW, you cannot multibox, or use programs to multibox, I should say. And here, as long as you follow the rules, which are pretty specific, you can bring in 5 characters at a time, slowly log in, and then summon them into the raid. And you can do, if you're doing a 10-man raid, you could bring 10 guys. If you're doing a 25-man raid, you could bring 25 guys. You just have to carefully summon 5 at a time, because they don't want 25 characters being controlled by one person running around the world killing everything, making it very unfair for a single player. So I do not do multi-box PvP at all. I only do PvE because that's what I'm into, and it's fun, and I think it's an interesting challenge and an interesting turn on the game. So this has been a long project. I've been working on it for about 2 years, and the first one, this pink pretty one, is Tempest Keep. It's the last boss of the raid. I'm just going to show you that part. Honestly, the other bosses in the raid were pretty easy, and this is a level 70 raid. My guys are level 80, and I am controlling all 25 dudes here. And yeah, I just wanted to share my experience and share my progress with my multi-box team, and let's get into it. So while he's doing his little role-playing speech thing, I just wanted to show some of the progress, little montage section here for you. So I started off about 2 years ago, 1 year and 10 months ago, and I've uploaded a ton of videos, but most of my videos, if you look through them, you can kind of track the progress of what I had to do. So some of my earlier ones were power leveling and making more guys, that kind of thing. And then my later ones are a lot of streaming and raiding, that kind of thing, actually gearing my guys up. So I just thought that was kind of cool. Definitely a lot of learning involved, lots of learning. I went into this never multiboxing before at all. so I had to learn the programs, learn the macros, learn how to position guys, all kinds of like little things that you think are easy until you actually start doing it. Because I didn't even know what I didn't know what I didn't know. But I thought it was kind of cool. Little my journey so far. The first time that I tried this raid, my guys were about 5.5 year score, which is not great, but not bad. If you're not familiar with the game, it's kind of middle ground. This time I spent, the first time I got owned really hard. It's the guys actually hit pretty hard, especially the last phase of the fight. It does this gigantic flame strike that literally deals like 135,000 damage. It's enough to pretty much one hit anything. If you're not spread out, if you're not doing the right stuff. So, yeah, I got owned pretty hard, but I spent about 2 to 3 months gearing up my guys and putting some real effort into souping them up and gave it another shot. And I think this was my second try of the night. I was able to down them. So. Pretty excited. It definitely wasn't clean. I didn't have everybody alive at the end of the fight, but for being my first time downing him, I was pretty proud. That's kind of why I have so many dudes. Like, you can definitely do this, I think, with about 15 humans controlling individual characters. But like I said, I'm controlling all 25 here, hence the weird boxes all over the screen. The main dudes, the big 5 windows, the top 2 are tanks, the bottom 3 are my 3 big shaman healers. And then the rest of them, I've got kind of mini groups within the group, so each row has like a head, and then the head reports to my top left head window. And the way the program works is if I press 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever buttons on my keyboard, they get sent to all the little windows. So it's called like a master and a slave. So, pretty fun. I definitely brute forced some of the mechanics. Like, if you were doing this normally, you would have a special tank and a special group, and you'd have this guy, go down in this particular spot on the ground, so that when he comes back alive, they get kind of resurrected in one of the phases, and you have to down them all one at a time first, and then you have to down them all together at the same time. So you want to have like the big guy with a huge axe that sweeps strikes, off to the side in his own little section, and the caster in our own little section kind of thing. But yeah, definitely brute force that. And then the last phase, I struggled with a lot because of the flame strike. It just deals so much damage. It's not a healable amount of damage that you can deal with. So my idea was to just make a bunch of healers. Like, there's 8 healers in this raid. It's a fair bit. 8 out of 25 are healers. They do deal some damage still, but they're there to overheal and to keep people alive, and then if 1 or 2 of them die, it's not a big deal, So, the three of the pink guys, paladins, are MP5 stacked holy paladins, and by that I mean they have every single item in their kit is completely MP5. Every gem slot, every single thing gives them mana back. It's definitely not a typical way you'd want to gear a character, but that's what I did for these, so that they would have enough mana to cast for the entire fight. That's for all my healers, actually, are all MP5 stacked in this fight. And then a lot of ranged, because ranged is easier to control than a melee character for multiboxing. And then, yeah, pretty much just focusing on positioning is the hardest part. Making sure that they're spread out so that they all don't immediately get nuked to his first flame strike. I think I had like 2 or 3 big sections of dudes just get taken out, but a lot of my dudes are shamans, which have resurrect, and then I've got I think 2 or 3 druids in the group, so I could battle res and bring some guys back up if needed. But yes, pretty excited. I wanted to share this with people. I was able to finally down Tempest Keep, and I finally went back and tried Black Temple like immediately after this. I was riding high, and the last time I tried Black Temple, which is kind of the premier Burning Crusade raid. When you think of Burning Crusade, you think of Black Temple. It's pretty iconic. And last time I went there, I was not able to down Council because the dudes, like, there's a couple of mechanics that will nuke your dudes. Like, you've got to have enough tanks, enough dudes, enough characters to pick up, like the rogue. He'll vanish, and he'll pick a random target and just start nuking that target. So that's something you have to counter. And then you have to have like a couple of tanks, like 3 or 4 tanks is what I ran. And then enough heals to overheal for lack of movement and lack of positioning, that kind of thing. And then the Illidan fight, honestly, is really easy. The Council fight was way harder, which is the second to last boss. So, pretty cool. I'll let this kind of play out here. And as far as like my next goals, I want to probably get this a little bit cleaner and start farming this every week for the Phoenix mount, which is, you know, super slim drop rate, but maybe it'll happen. It'd be cool. Do some more Black Temple runs, and that was a little bit longer. It took like an hour because it's just a big raid, and I was kind of nervous going in there. I was like, I don't want to wipe because it takes like 30 minutes to reset all my dudes if I wipe. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get these 2 buttoned up, go do SSC, Serpent Shrine Cavern, and get that fight done. I think I can probably I have enough damage now, I could probably just, like this fight, brute force my way through the last phase of the last boss and call it a day. And then I have tried Sunwell a couple of times, and Sunwell is, the first boss is hard because, for a multi-boxer, because you have to click on a portal that spawns on one of your guys, and when it spawns, it knocks everybody that's on it away from that dude. And then you have to have like enough guys go into the portal, and it's only up for like 5 seconds, quickly enough that there's basically 2 versions of the boss, the Shadow Realm and the real world, and you have to more or less kill them at the same time. So yeah, you've got to have enough people go into the portal and stay out, and surviving the boss and nuking him down as far as his HP is no problem, but getting enough people coordinated, my little dudes, back on top of the portal and go into the portal before it despawns it sucks. I tried like 15 times, and I tried a couple of different things, but I think if I bring like Baby Spice and maybe put the boss on the wall, like put his model in the wall as far as the room that you fight in, and group my guys into like little mini groups, kind of like I did for the Kael'thas fight here, I might be able to get enough dudes in the room to bring him down. So if you have any ideas on that, or if you've done the fight before, multi-boxing or something like that, I'd really appreciate your advice, because yeah, I can't I gotta brain blast that guy and figure out what to do. So anyway, I really appreciate your time and hope this was cool. I said it was a big project, and as far as I could find online, I have never seen somebody else do Tempest Keep multi-boxing, like a solo adventure kind of thing. So I thought it was pretty cool. If you have any ideas for videos or things I could try out next, let me know. And thanks for watching, and have a great day.